Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. I wanted to share with you some takeaways and insights I had from an article that I read that was entitled 5 Reasons Why the 2016 ISTE Standards Matter to Students. And really in these 5 points, they're showing why they made the revisions in 2016. Because people before they made the revisions thought that everything was good and that there should be no need to change them. But they proved why through these 5 points and even surveyed students and got some feedback from them as well. So I just want to share with you what the article said and some takeaways that can be useful for teachers who use technology in their classroom. So the first takeaway, or the first point, was because empowered students are prepared for the future. The goal here is that teachers are developing students who are learner-driven and that they're individualized and that they just really want to strive for stuff on their own. So whether their goal is to go to college or pursue a career after they're done with school, they really want to prep them to be driven on their own so that teachers aren't having to encourage them so much and really just kind of like nag them along. They want students to naturally want to make good grades, to be involved, to participate, and to make the most out of their educational journey. So that's why this first point was so important, and that's just something that they researched. The second point was because human life is no longer solely digital or physical, it's hybrid. Students need to know how to be digital citizens, but that's not the only thing. They also need to understand how the digital world works and what access they have at their fingertips. So they need to know how they can use technology for their education, how they can just use it for normal daily life through apps on their phone, stuff like that. And also they need to understand the dangers of it, so what bad can happen from using it the wrong way, and they need to know what opportunities it presents for them as well, just to make life easier daily and stuff like that. They also need to clearly understand that there are good and bad times to use technology, and they need to understand when those times are appropriate to use technology and how it's going to help them get a point across, or when other means is necessary to use to get a point across. So that was their purpose for point number 2. Point number 3 was because it's about teaching, not the tools. The thing here that was so important was that while technology is really useful and it's a good way to speed up the learning process or enhance it, that teachers shouldn't just flat out stop teaching. The teacher's still there to teach and use the technology as a tool, but not allow it to be the only thing educating the students. So they shouldn't just be watching videos or looking at presentations through their computer. Those should be enhancement tools while the teacher is still actively engaged in teaching the students alongside of the use of technology. So that was point number 3. Point number 4 was because being a global citizen is no longer optional. Collaboration happens daily, and with technology now, students can talk to people across the world quickly and efficiently. And it's a really good thing. But the teacher needs to help them understand things like tolerance, inclusiveness, encouragement, and even self-control when using technology. So for example, if they're on Facebook or a blog and they see something that they don't quite agree with, they need to understand how to have some self-control. If they don't agree and have a valid argument, to do that politely and with respect. To share their insights, or if they can't, just say something nice, or are going to result to something like cyberbullying or just being negative towards someone, to just not say anything back to the person at all through the internet. And just stuff like that. That's just one example that they could use, but that's really what point 4 was targeting in this one. And the last point was point 5, because students care about their lives and learning and the role of technology within both. ISTE actually surveyed a student, and I'm going to read you the quote that they got from the student, which was, "I wish that we lived in a world where setting learning goals is more important than grade goals." This just proved that the student wants to learn and that he understands how technology is really prevalent in today's society. And he just really is focused. He wants teachers to focus on their learning goals rather than the grades or assessments that go along with it. While those are important, he just really understands the importance of technology and how it can enhance his learning, and is really focused on the learning goals, which is really cool from a student standpoint to have that at such a young age. So I thought that was cool that ISTE took the time to survey and get some feedback from them and actually hear from the students after the students were given a chance to look through the 2016 revised standards. But I think that this last goal, it helps them understand that technology is now one of the cornerstones of learning, that it can really enhance their learning, and that it's something that they're going to use to learn, to communicate, and to just use through their future and whatever pursuits they may have. So these were the 5 main points of why they changed their standards. I thought they were really useful and things that we can all learn from and apply in our own teaching. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks for the time.